children in general, they, of course, they're not all learning in a linear form or growing up in a linear form. But again, as I mentioned to you, as they're going through these phases, they have phases. And, sometimes I know as parents, we think like, oh my God, this is going to last forever. And the answer is no, they're just phases. And yes, sometimes it's more than a year. Sometimes it's, 6 years. But these phases they have very important characteristics. There are certain characteristics that I want the parents to be aware of and be mindful when their child is of that particular age. So that's what I really want to talk about, because then if you know that, you can work on their self-confidence, you can work on their self-esteem, you can help them be self-disciplined, independent. We always want our children to be independent, So how do you see that for a young child, and how does that evolve when your child is older? So all of those are built into the workshop. And then, I have had parents ask me, like, how do you give them freedom? Where's the freedom, and freedom with limits, if you will, right? So what does that look like? You give your child a certain amount of space, but then what do you do if they cross over? But should they cross over, and how would you address that? So lots of tidbits in how to address these things. Why do children talk back all the time, and how do you address that? And I want to also talk about, like for the teenagers, they're very moody. Why? How do you handle the moodiness? I know everybody goes, oh, they're just going through, puberty or whatever. Well, yes, but there's more to it than that. So we want to talk about all of those things in the session. So again, there's a little bit of theory, and there's a representation of that, because this is not something that I just pulled out. It's just from my experience of teaching and studying this. But that will be applied into very practical applications. They're very much achievable.